welcome to the Utica Curling Club channel. It's Championship Sunday at the Utica Curling Club at the 2018 UCC College Bonspiel. We'll be bringing you an A Championship semifinal game this morning between SUNY Poly 1. They'll be playing the Red Rocks on sheet 5 against the team from Harvard. They'll be playing the Blue Rocks. And our other championship semifinal this morning, over on sheet 2, Penn will be playing RPI 1. These four teams are no strangers to championship finals at the Utica Curling Club or elsewhere around the GNCC. Probably four of the top teams in this spiel and around the circuit. Not only is this Championship Sunday at the club here for this event, but it's also the last Sunday of the season to earn merit points to qualify for the USA Curling College Championship to be held in Eau Claire in March. So all the teams here and around the country are jockeying for final position to qualify for that national event. If we bring up the standings, all the teams highlighted in green are in the top 16 teams in the country. And if it ended today, before counting the results from our Bonspiel and others around the country, these would be the 16 qualifiers that would head to Eau Claire to compete for the College Curling National Championship. Hamilton and Penn are on the bubble. Colgate near the bottom as well, but they've all had really good results this weekend, and that will help those teams hopefully cement a position in the national championship. The current standings have 10 of the 16 qualifiers coming out of the Grand National Curling Club, Eastern Curling Association, and one of the larger curling association college programs in the country. We're about to get underway here in our A semifinal. SUNY Poly 1, by virtue of their record in shootout scores, is ranked ahead of Harvard, so they will have the Red Rocks and the Hammer in the first end. Laura Teich of Harvard with her first stone. Over curls just a bit. There's your Harvard team. Laura Teich at lead. Rocky Lee at second. Bill Liu throwing fourth rocks, and Julia Ebert on the right, skipping and throwing third stones. Here's your SUNY Poly team. Blake Hagberg at skip, Jeremy Zhang playing third, Luke Sanders at second, and Dan Coletta at lead. Coletta with his second. Trying to go around the corner guard. Left by Harvard. And this one's just going to overcurl. The weight was pretty good. Rocky Lee with his first. Equipment malfunction on the ice. One of the stabilizers leaving some scratches. Removed from play. Luke Sanders with his first. A little bit short. A bit of an unusual call, leaving a rock in the middle with Hammer here in the first end. We prefer to throw that stone around the corner, sit 2 with Hammer. Now a chance for Harvard to remove the SUNY Poly shot rock and lie buried behind the center guard. This rock's not curling, just going to tick the shot stone and move it over. SUNY Poly still shot. Now Luke Sanders have a chance to throw a come around. He's going to have to throw more weight than he did on the first one. Trying to bury one around the high center. Again, the sweepers kind of watched that a long time. And get it into the rings. Not sure it's shot stone though. Maybe just a little short of being shot. Yeah, looks like the blue stone is definitely second stone. That's first, and that's third. Skip Julie Ebert. She's throwing third rocks with her first. Julia's trying to go around the whole shooting match. It's going to be a little heavy, and Blake manages to sweep that back to fourth rock position. SUNY Poly needs to get a stone around to cut off a draw path for Harvard that would give them a chance to salvage the end. Their second stone out on the 12-foot can be removed later. And that would bring the front stone into play for a possible 3. So SUNY Poly trying to get around first here. Block is curling really hard. And they managed to wrap it around, but it's going to go deep. They had to sweep to get it by. I wonder if maybe they should have let that rub and sit higher up in the ring. So now a chance for Julie Ebert with her second to lock one on the stone in the back 4. And this one's warping over pretty hard too. And I think this one's gonna click. And that does push the SUNY Poly stone up now for a second shot. So SUNY Poly now sitting 3. But a little bit of a dangerous stone lying in the top 12 for Harvard. This stone in the top 12 can be raised, could be a potential threat with their last 2. Jeremy Zhang will be asked to just cover that stone and prevent a raise. Getting a little cluttered in the middle with hammer, but SUNY Poly does lie 3. Throwing a guard here to prevent a tap up. And this guard just has too much weight and they're sweeping to get it by, and they're unfortunately going to tap the Harvard stone in for second stone. Couldn't be heavy on that guard attempt. Better miss that light instead of making the opponent shot for them. And now that Harvard stone would be very difficult to remove. Good throw here by 4th Bill Liu. And freeze or tap on the back one. Harvard could lie 2. Line looks really good on this stone. And that's going to coast in for shot rock, top 4. SUNY Poly's going to have to run the red stone in, I think, to open things up. If they hit this just off nose, they might be able to run this onto shot rock. Looking to hit this just a little bit on the high side and run this onto shot stone. I'm not sure they'll get them sitting 2. It'll be close, but certainly will bring their back stone back into play. first rock of the first end for Blake Hagberg, looking to run his stone into the rings. He needs to hit as much as he can see. Runs away one stone, but runs shot stone right onto his own in the back. Harvard now sits shot in the back of the button area. Back four. With a chance to draw in and sit two. Another good draw here from Bill Liu. And Harvard would be in good position to steal a couple. Pretty good effort on Blake's first, just got a little unlucky. Hit the wrong stone first and tapped up the Harvard stone into a frozen position. Bill Liu can cover up this in-turn draw path. He'll steal one almost for sure. Gets buried top button, top four. He might steal a couple. Blake will have that same run in though with his last shot. And this looks like another really nice shot from Harvard's Bill Liu. Looks like Harvard may be sitting two. They're going to have to play that same run back just to limit the damage. Get a little lucky here. They might score a couple. So again, looking to run this stone in onto the blue. Try to run that blue onto this one. Actually, let's do this a little better. Run this stone onto this one, and they would love to catch that side of the stone. Go out this way. This one goes that way. You'll lose the red one. But if you do this right, that red will count, that red will count, that red will count, and that red will count. That would be for a count of four. So anything possible here from a steal of one or two to Suni Pauly getting four. Need to hit this just on a little bit on the high side and just came narrow. Blake wrecks on the guard, and that'll be a steal of two, I believe. That was only a steal of one, so that could have been a lot worse for Suni Pauly. Harvard stealing only a single in the first end. Chance to recover here in the second end. Suni Pauly with the red stones will have the hammer. Completely open house, looking to draw the wings. And the ice is sped up this second end, and after being short the first end, players are now heavy here in the second end. Lara Teich with her second. That center guard over curling. Dan Coletta will be asked to come around the center, get around the corner guard. And it's come up short. Cardinals end when you're coming around the middle with hammer. Can't be short. Come up short, you leave a center guard. That has to be peeled out later to give the skipper a look at the forefoot with the last rock. Gonna miss those, miss them a little heavy. Now Rocky Lee playing the wide out turn around that quasi center guard. This one's got a really nice looking line. It's got the weight, it'll be shot rock buried. And it will coast onto the rings. Top 12, top 8. Now a center guard will have to go. Luke Sanders with the peel attempt. This rock is curling hard. Does clear the guard and leave a corner. Harvard will cover that up. And guard attempt coasts in the rings, but it's going to be shot rock on the side of the forefoot. Blake is going to have Luke throw the other turn here. Trying to get the double there, just didn't curl enough. Suni Pali not able to set up their end with the hammer again this end with a couple short rocks. Threw the first draw through and then threw a come around just over the hog line. So not getting set up. Julie Ebert with the takeout attempt on Suni Pali Stone in the top 12. This is going to get a nice little roll. A chance for SUNY Poly to get the double again. Can double and roll behind the corner. Looking to roll behind this corner and hopefully double those outs in the process. I want to get the top one for sure. Jeremy Zhang. Not real heavy. They do get by. And they get both stones moving. Pretty good result. Moved one of the stones to the back 12. That certainly opens up the scoring area. Stone in the top of the house is also now splittable. This could be split in for 2, potentially later in the end. Still got to deal with that stone in the back 12 though. Julia Ebert's going to remove that stone. Threw that one a bit wide, and so now that gives SUNY Poly a chance to hit and sit 2 or draw one around. They're going to go for the hit, make it simple here. Hit and stick in the back brings their stone in the top 12 into play. The other option would be just to draw around your corner guard, deal with that stone later. I think Blake's just going to try to keep this simple this end. Looking for a piece here. And just over curls. Not enough weight, that's just maybe hack weight. Might have been a little tight. Blake was calling for sweep right out of release. Either way, it's a miss. And now Bill Liu, they're going to loop one around. Since they're sitting shot, no reason not to loop one around and try to sit 1 and 2 behind cover. Draw was a bit heavy. It's going to go and join the other one in the back of the house. That'll present a bigger target. That should be a relatively easy double and roll. He just went to school on this line. Double and roll. Other option is just to hit and roll right in front of that back blue stone. Blake doesn't like it out of hand. He did manage to double off the stones, but it just leaves him sitting 1. Not exactly the result he wanted. Last rock this in for Bill Liu. He's going to remove the SUNY Poly rock on the top 12 just to eliminate the chance for a deuce. If he doesn't hang around, SUNY Poly will probably play for the blank by throwing through. If he does manage to hit roll behind the corner, then it'll force SUNY Poly to 1. Putting the brooms on this immediately. Going to make the shot. Not going to be on the rings, however. And so now SUNY Poly will have a chance to throw the blank. Not even going to throw the stone. So a blank end. Harvard still leads 1-0. SUNY Poly, playing the Red Rocks, will retain the hammer in the third end. Trying to set up a deuce. Like to get 2 or more with hammer.
Probably about a 4, actually. Yeah, it's gonna slow down. Draw behind? Yeah.
And another lead rock for SUNY Poly, not in a good position. SUNY Poly just not getting their end set up. They're going to have to make some lead or second stones. Harvard's getting the jump. They've thrown a perfect center guard. And SUNY Poly catches a little bit of a break as that come around goes through. Second chance for Dan Coletta to throw a corner or something in the rings. And this one's a much better effort. Nice tight corner guard. So finally something to work with for SUNY Poly. Now Rocky Lee try to use that center guard and get around. Another draw right through the back. And now a chance for SUNY Poly to set up a multiple by getting around their corner guard. They'll peel that center out later. And a come around attempt coming up a little short, but they do split the corner guard on and the shooter to lie 2. SUNY Poly front end struggling a bit with draw weight. That Harvard stone may have rolled itself on the rings. It's going to force Blake to remove those 2 blue stones to try to bring the corner back into play. Good idea to peel these out anyway with hammer. Staggered guards, your opposition can use those. You can't run the stones in. Gonna peel the top one off. May not remove it from play, just not enough weight. Caught the stone a little too thin. I think even if they caught it flush, I'm not sure they would have removed any stones. Now Harvard shot rock in the side of the rings, and this may push SUNY Poly toward a force, especially if they can draw a second one in. Harvard can. Skip Julia Ebert. Just rubs on that draw. Gonna sit in the open. That'll force Blake to chase off either the center guard or the shot stone. I don't mind this call. Take the shot stone off, roll away from that center guard. That will probably entice Harvard to chase it instead of drawing around the center. Jeremy Zhang. Again, that was just a little narrow, crashes on the center guard. Middle's opened up now, though. Harvard will guard their good rock on the top 4. They're sitting 2. So no risk for them to guard. Sitting first and second stone, a good opportunity to try to set up a steal. And they have SUNY Poly chasing again. Guard attempt over curled. Now an opportunity for SUNY Poly to either roll under or roll away. Anything but a nose hit here. Blake gave a little more ice on this shot. And it's going to get pretty much right to nose. Probably not where you wanted to leave that stone. Needed to roll one way or the other. Now a chance for Harvard to hit and roll underneath. Bill Liu with his first. Roll just a little too far with the hit and roll. It's going to roll into the hole. So that'll give Blake a chance to play a hit and roll back under again. It's going to curl very hard toward the sheet 6 side. To make sure you take enough ice on this shot. SUNY Poly like to keep their stone on the top 12 in play. You don't want to wreck on that one. If you can remove this Harvard shot stone, sit first and third, might have a chance at 3 this end. This one still got a curl. And it just redirects. Got a little lucky, did remove shot stone, but rolled for second stone. Just that little redirect. Couple red stones in play though, so Harvard will have to be a little careful here. They need to sit 1 and 2, or they need to remove one of those red stones from play and roll onto the rings for second shot. They're going to draw around, try to sit 1 and 2. This is one of those critical last stones. You do need to be 1 and 2 here at the conclusion of this shot, or SUNY Poly will have an open hit for 3. Sweepers aren't touching it. Looks like it's going to hang around in the back 8. Very nicely done. Now it'll force SUNY Poly to a single. Harvard lies 1 and 2. Looks like they're going to opt for a little light come around tap back. You might be tempted to throw the guard here. If you wreck, you give up 2. If you, or excuse me, the draw. If you draw, you're probably going to give up at most 1. Nothing wrong with his call. Just got to make the shot. And this is going to over curl. No, I just got it by. Thought they were over curled. Very nice shot. A little bit of panic. The sweeping there, but nicely thrown shot. Sunipali gets their single. As we'd expected, this is going to be a tight game. It's 1-1 after 3. 1 blank end. Harvard playing the Blue Rocks will have the hammer in the 4th end. And the music means we have updates on scores from other sheets. On sheet 1 in our E semifinal, RPI 2 is taking a 3-ender to take a big 5-1 lead over RIT 2 in their game. We have a offensive Donnybrook going on sheet 2 in our other A semifinal. Penn has taken a deuce and a 3. RPI 1 has taken a tray as well. Penn leads 5-3 after 3 ends of play. In our C semifinal on sheet 3, MIT leads Colgate 1 4-0. That's after 2 ends. On sheet 4, we have a Bowdoin on Bowdoin game. And it's 4-2 Bowdoin 1 over Bowdoin 2. They're ahead 4-2 after 3 ends of play. And on sheet 6, in our other C semifinal game, Yale has taken a commanding 7-0 lead after 3 ends of play against RIT. That must be RIT 1. We have updates on all the scores now. Our feature game is a 1-1 tie after 3. Harvard playing the Blue Rocks will have the last rock advantage in this 4th end. Sunipali off to a good start this end with a couple of center guards. Harvard come around attempt, didn't get all the way around the guard. So a chance for a little hit and roll here for Luke Sanders. And a beautiful hit and roll by Luke Sanders. Rolls for Shot Rock top 8. That'll force Harvard to clear a center guard and open up that 4-foot area. Rocky Lee. Very nice peel. Opens up shot stone. SUNY Poly will put that right back. Nicely placed guard by Luke Sanders, goes right back where it came off. Harvard will have to remove it again. Pretty much same result as the last time. Now the guard will go back. Quite a cluster of guards building up in front of the house. If you ever miss this guard, Harvard will have a chance to roll underneath. And Blake's actually looking at getting there first. Not a bad idea here. Trying to Christmas tree these rocks or play a little split. I like the Christmas tree idea. Just go right in between the blue and red stones. It'd be hard to remove either one and keep your shooter around. If you're a little heavy, you wind up sitting 2. 1 under the guard and maybe 1 back 8. So a lot of good outcomes from this. Shot call. Going to go right to the 4-foot, and that's just fine. Yeah, just a ton of curl on that spot. The only question is there a double? There is a potential double here. I'm not sure if you can keep the shooter around. This would be a pretty thin double, and I think you might spin up out here. A very, very thin double to stick. And you would have to do this. Just catch a piece. Julia Ebert looking to make a double, and she actually flipped this out wide. Now a chance for SUNY Poly to throw a guard on top of that stone. That would set up a steal of 2, maybe. Harvard's got no path to the pin, and those staggered guards are a real problem for Harvard. A quick discussion. Team agrees the guard is the way to go. Don't want to be heavy here. This one's motoring. Jeremy's tossed a couple of heavy guards here in the early part of the game. Not a terrible result. Makes the double now impossible, but they can remove one of the SUNY Poly stones with a nose hit. Julie Ebert with her second, trying to remove a SUNY Poly stone here. We're going to get one. And they remain in control of the other, but you got to get a guard on top of this now. Just in front of those two stones would be perfect. Thrown this shot a few times now, so they know the line. And again, this one's motoring as well. Question is, does angle help Harvard at all? I think the blue stone goes right onto shot rock. I think if you hit the top one into the blue, because it's locked on this stone, that angle should direct it right onto shot stone. This one would go away in the process. Maybe. A little bit of a tricky spot for Harvard. I think Harvard would like to at least get rid of that stone. Do that just by hitting the blue. And the blue is going to redirect onto the red just because of the way those two stones are frozen. This one's a bit wide, but should get the nice redirect here, and it does. Looked like those were lined up really nice. So a little bit of an error there from SUNY Poly. Had a couple chances to guard up their stones, to engineer a steal. Came up wanting on a couple of guards, and they let Harvard wriggle off the hook. Now there's no real good way in for SUNY Poly. They're just going to have to cover the outturn draw and try to force Harvard to a single. If you could get to top four here, you might engineer a steal, but you got to get under cover. But mainly you want to block that path from Harvard, because that's how they get their two. This side is well covered with those two stones. There's no way in for Harvard on the intern side. The last stone of the fourth end for SUNY Poly. They're just looking to cover this intern path. If they get the perfect line, They'd love to steal this end, but this rock is sailing. Just too heavy. Pro miss was short there, cut off the draw path, and now Harvard has a chance to score a deuce with that same draw. Not sure they took enough ice either. With that weight, still came very close to the guard. You can see where Harvard's taking their ice. They're off the rings. Not wanting to come anywhere close to those guards. They just need to get full 8, score their deuce.
Yeah, keep it over.
Last rock, fourth end. Harvard drawing for 2. Fourth, Bill Liu. And just not enough weight. He had the broom outside the 12-foot. That's in the slowest part of the sheet and didn't make the adjustment. So it's only a single for Harvard. So this still remains a very tight affair. Harvard 2, SUNY Poly 1 after 4 ends of play. SUNY Poly with the Red Stones will have the hammer in the 5th end.
All right, I like it. Got a little more.
Other scores around the sheets. In our semifinal game on sheet 1, RPI 2 leads RIT 2 5-3. Make that after 4 ends of play. On sheet 2 in our other A semifinal game, a very offensive affair. RPI has come back with a 3 in the 4th end to take a 6-5 lead. A lot of rocks in play in this game and a lot of scoring. It looks like to be a very exciting affair. Sheet 3, our C semifinal. One of them, MIT, leads Colgate 1. 6-0 after 3 ends of play. On sheet 4, our Bowdoin on Bowdoin game. Bowdoin 1 leads Bowdoin 2 5-2. That's an E semifinal game. And on sheet 6 in our other C semifinal, Yale leads 7-0. 3 ends on record there, and they lead over RIT. Our game is a defensive-minded affair. After 4 ends of play, it's 2-1 Harvard over SUNY Poly. SUNY Poly has the hammer this end. Again, this end, Harvard center guard's wandered offline. It's sitting out for a corner, but Harvard is shot back 4. SUNY Poly getting a little split there, and that's not a bad result at all. Now they sit 2nd and 3rd spread, and shot stone back 4 is fully exposed. And they rolled one of their stones right behind the corner guard. So a pretty nice result. Not a great steel rock there on the back four, so Harvard is opting to split the house here in lie 2. They'd like to get maybe part way around the corner guard on the right. This stone's a bit heavy, so it's going to wind up grouping a couple of Harvard stones. Oh, it slides by, and Blake will be able to sweep it out. Now a chance to sit 3 spread. Golden opportunity for SUNY Poly this end. Just a nose hit would be perfect here. He'll be able to apply a lot of pressure this end. Luke Sanders just needs a hit and stick here. Looks like it's a little tight. They're sweeping it all the way. Now they're up. Don't want to roll that too far, and unfortunately they grouped a couple rocks on the left side. Ideally, they just wanted to nose hit there and sit 3 spread. Now Harvard has a chance to get a double. Cut down the number of SUNY Poly counters. Just didn't catch the back stone hard enough to get it out. So now another chance for SUNY Poly to sit 3 spread. A nose hit here, maybe just a little bit of a roll towards center line would be ideal. Nose hit's actually pretty good here. Doesn't leave any easy doubles. Luke Sanders with his second. They're not sweeping it. Now it's coming in. And it's starting to over curl. Might have missed the sweep call a bit there. Are they going to be able to hold this? Now it's going to roll behind the corner. Makes a little bit of a pocket. They really wanted to sit nose on that one. Again, they want to force Harvard to hit the shot stone in the middle of the rings instead of drawing down to this pocket. One of the principles of scoring a multiple end in an open house is to keep your rocks spread out. Don't try to group them. This is not without danger, though. You have to make this shot if you're drawing to the pocket. SUNY Poly sits 3, but they're all behind T-line. A little bit of a liability. Those are rocks that can be frozen too, and they can never be made better. This rock is coming in. You don't want to bounce here. If you bounce, you pop into the open. And that's not too bad. That's a tough rock to remove now. They can get to the inside. You got to come by the guard tight. Try to squish this rock out that way. You might lose your red in the back too as in the process, but you need to move that blue stone if you want to score a multiple this end. Even if you wreck on the guard, you give yourself some possibilities to chip out that blue stone later. Critical shot here for SUNY Poly. Need to clear something. Need to move the blue stone or move the corner guard. Jeremy Zhang. Swept right away, just got by, and this is going to be a beaut. And really nice shot. Didn't remove the blue stone entirely, but did move it to the back of the house. Now SUNY Poly's got two behind the corner and another player on the other side of the sheet. Harvard may be shot in the back of the house. And it looks like they are. That's probably one, that's second. But ominously, there are third and fourth counters in the rings. So those are three threatening stones for SUNY Poly. Lonely shot rock for Harvard. This is where you need to put a second stone in the rings if you're Harvard. Sit 1 and 2. Try not to leave a double. If I was Harvard, I would be tempted to put one over here where it can't be doubled off. Looks like that's exactly where they're going. Question is, do they have the right weight? Don't want to throw this one through the rings. And they did not catch those red stones, so now a chance for SUNY Poly to remove the Harvard shot stone. Nose isn't bad. Didn't want to sit spread here. Jeremy Zhang with his second. Even if you hit and rolled out here, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I think you want to make Harvard chase your shot stone. SUNY Poly hits and sticks here. They'll be sitting back 4. And that's a great shot. That's a perfect spot. Now Harvard will have to chase that. They'll either have to freeze or hit. Looking at 4, they probably are looking at a freeze. Have to be frozen perfectly here. You either want to be frozen on the nose. If you get on the corner, then they can be doubled out. So no good. Got to be frozen right on the nose. Bill Liu. Trying to limit the damage here with a freeze. Line looks really good. Is he going to get there? And it's going to come up short, so it'll be possible to chip this rock out. SUNY Poly could lie 5. Anywhere but nose. Ideally, SUNY Poly would like to roll a little bit to this side. Take this stone out through the hole. You could also go the other way, but I think it's better to cause Harvard to chase you out here on the left-hand side of the sheet. If your nose hits, you'll jam the blue on the back. Don't want to do that. If this rock over curls, you want to make sure you go the other way. Even if you just chip this out, it's okay. You need to hit a good piece of it. And they jammed it. Hit it too thin. Needed to let that stone come up. A bit of a squandered opportunity for SUNY Poly. Needed to hit a good 2/3 of that stone to make the shot. They caught a quarter and jammed it on their back stone on the right-hand side. Now Harvard lies second shot. Now if Harvard hits and sticks here, there will be a double. score a bundle. So Harvard's got to decide if they're freezing again or if they're taking this stone away. I don't mind taking the stone away, but you've got to roll this way. Sit 2 spread, then there's no double. And SUNY Poly will be forced to 1. If you hit and roll out here, you're going to give up 4. From the ice, it looks like Bill Liu's throwing the freeze. He's very confident in his draw weight. He's had excellent draw weight all weekend. And has drawn well this game. Again, looking to freeze this on the back. Sweepers are not laying a broom to it. Blake will want to get any kind of separation he can here. And he does. Now this is pokeable. Should be able to get this through the hole. It'll score at least 2. There's a little finesse shot for 2. Might be tough to keep your shooter though with that angle. It might be just good enough for Bill Liu. What you like to do is come down and roll to here, but you may not be able to stay shot. This goes out the back. There's no double, I don't think. The double jams. You can do this. This will go. But the question is, that jam's solid on the red stone. If you throw back 8 weight, might be able to come down here, roll to there, push this stone back to that spot, get your deuce. If you over curl and you get to the nose, you still get your 1. I think this is a really good call to try to get a deuce here. Main thing is you need to come up to the blue stone. You need to make sure you get at least a half a rock on this blue. You want to make sure you're on the high side. The line is really good. Might have this made. No, it just came up a little. Good try. Over curl, SUNY Poly gets their single. They'll tie the game 2-2 after 5 in a really taut battle. Both sides have had opportunities for multiple scores and failed to capitalize. All singles, 1 blank. So 2-2 after 5. Harvard playing the Blue Rocks will have the last rock in the 6th end. And as we start our 6th end of action in our feature game, we can update scores around the sheets and our E semifinal on sheet 1. RPI 5, RIT 4. That game is tightened up. That's after 5 ends of play. Our other A semifinal game on sheet 2, Pin and RPI are deadlocked 6-6. Pin forced to a single in the 5th end. Now playing the 6th end and a 6-all tie. MIT's extended their lead over Colgate in their C semifinal game. They lead 8-0 after 4. And our other E semifinal game on sheet 4, Bowdoin 1 now trails Bowdoin 2 7-5. Bowdoin 2 taking a deuce and stealing 3 to move ahead. And on sheet 6 in our other C semifinal game, Yale well in control over RIT1 10-0 after 5. Our game is a very taut defensive affair. 2-2 after 5, excuse me. SUNY Poly off to a fast start here in the 6th. They've got a stone buried top button. Or top 4 behind a couple center guards. Trying to engineer a steal this end. Got a couple steals set up earlier in the game and let them slip off the hook. Looked like that peel attempt might have lost the handle. Curled the other way. Luke Sanders being asked to draw another stone around here. I'd be tempted to maybe even throw another guard up here. Double guard that rock on the 4-foot. So it'd be a good end to score. 6th end, even end late. It'll be really good for SUNY Poly to engineer a steal this end. That would give them the hammer in the 8th and final ends. And they've got 2 on the rings now behind a couple of guards, but they're just single guards. Center guard removed. Need to replace it. I wouldn't put it too high. Too easy to get around. And they just got that guard over. Over curled though, shot rock is wide open. Jeremy Zhang struggled a bit throwing guards this morning. Suni Poly's had a hard time capitalizing on some early setups. Now a chance for Harvard to get themselves out of a little bit of trouble. Run this rock off the forefoot. The remaining Suni Poly rock is only on the top 12. Mission accomplished. Harvard actually rolls for shot. And that may force Suni Poly to chase it. Taking a bit of risk here now. Steal of the end. They're going to come around. Three rocks to go. And a fortunate pick there. That looked like that was going through the rings. Grabbed in the slide path and just coasted behind a cluster of guards. It's actually fully buried. Very hard to see. See maybe a third of a rock poking out. Julie Ebert's going to try to chip it away. Suni Poly shot top 4. Julie Ebert now looking to chip out shot stone. This one's just going to sail wide. Suni Poly might have to cover that outside. Still chippable. They could draw in again, but they want to be 1 and 2 if they do that. Suni Poly's actually going to chase this rock off the 12-foot. It's going to bring their rock at the top of the rings into play. Leave them sitting 2. It's going to chip it out of play. That'll get the job done. And Suni Poly lies 2. Fourth, Bill Liu just going to throw a draw to the pot. He's going to be throwing this shot with his last in all likelihood. Figures he may get there first because he'll probably be drawing again. And a real nice shot from Bill Liu. He gets shot rock. Just behind the SUNY Polystone. It's a gettable rock. Hack weight should be able to chip that out. Make Bill throw it again. Little tricky though, you know, if you hit your own red and open up the left side, then Harvard will have a chance for a deuce here. So this is a tricky little shot. If you hit what you can see, the blue rock will go safely by your red. Just need to keep it off your own red. There by one, there by two, there by three. Great shot. Cut that really close. Now Bill Liu will have to play that same draw. There's no double there. Those stones are pretty level. Those stones are very level. You can play a draw. You can play a hit and roll. Draw is probably easier, but this is against three, so this is a huge shot for Harvard. Fourth, Bill Liu for Harvard's had excellent draw weight. He just stuffed one on the pin and on the button. And that's why he wanted to throw that with his first stone. He's going to have to throw it again. Last rock, sixth in for Harvard's Bill Liu. Drawing against three. Needs a good piece of the forefoot to get his one. Sweepers haven't touched it. He's going to rub off the top one. And did that roll in enough for shot? Looks like it did, and it's another single. Good save for Harvard in that end. They were facing three and answered the bell. They now lead 3-2. SUNY Poly, playing the Red Rocks, will have the hammer in the seventh end in a tight defensive battle. And as we start the seventh end, we can update scores on other sheets. In our E semifinal on sheet 1, it is 5-4 RPI 2 over RIT 2 after 5 ends of play. RPI 1 took a huge 4-ender with the hammer in the 6th end. They jumped out to a 10-6 lead over Penn, trying to avenge their earlier loss to Penn in pool play. MIT is in total command of Colgate in the C semifinal, 13-0 after 5. That game will end soon. And on sheet 6, Yale leads RIT1, and in C semifinal, 10-0. We have a final in our other E semifinal. Bowdoin 2 came from behind to defeat Bowdoin 1, 7-5. You're all caught up on the scores around the sheets here on Championship Sunday at the UCC College Bonspiel 2018 edition. We're in a tight, close game here in our feature matchup between SUNY Poly 2 and Harvard. Harvard leads 3-2. SUNY Poly's had a lot of chances. They've had a couple ends where they had multiple steals set up and have been unable to close the deal with a guard. They have a chance this end to get set up again. Dan Coletta draws around the center guard, pokes out the back just a little bit. It's at least half covered. SUNY Poly shot stone. They've got the hammer this end, so they'd love to set up their deuce. All singles in this game, one blank. Very hard fought game. Rocky Lee trying to get around the whole shooting match here. He's just going to coast a little deep. So now a chance for SUNY Poly to get another one buried somewhere. Could freeze one on the back. Yeah, I like that call. Got one buried up top. You can freeze another one back on the stone and just put it in front of it. Even doesn't have to be perfect. Just want to sit 1 and 2 here. Kind of put stones where they can't be removed. Blake's changing his mind. Has to come around the middle. This is certainly an alternative. The advantage of coming around the middle here is it prevents Harvard from doing the same. Basically beat them to the spot. The weight looks pretty good. Just want to get this half buried behind that stone in the top 8, and this looks like it's going to be a beauty. Don't want to take this too deep. Not sure I like that rock position. I'd rather leave that half exposed, maybe a couple feet higher. Now that's open for a freeze. This is going to commit SUNY Poly, if this shot is not made, to covering up that draw path to their stone on the back 4. Rocky Lee with his second. Just looking to freeze one on the back, and this may be light. And over curling. If it gets by the blue, it's going to be on the red. That's going to rack on the blue. Now SUNY Poly's got 2 on the rings and guards in front of them. Blake's going to have Luke Sanders go around the blue center guard on the left, trying to stuff a third one in behind cover. Those guards are pretty high up, so they'll be hard to run in. Get around top 8 here. It'll be very difficult for Harvard to prevent SUNY Poly from scoring a multiple. And again, the line is just perfect here if they've got to wait. They need to get behind the blue. They Can drag this far enough. They're going to get shot rock, and that is a beautiful shot. Great sweeping by the front end. Carry that stone to the top 8. Now SUNY Poly lies 3, and they're in control of the 4-foot. They've got 2 red stones in front of the 4-foot and behind cover. Harvard's going to be forced to start peeling or running their own guards now. Julie Ebert almost squeaked through the hole to make a double. That would have been interesting. And now SUNY Poly with hammer will be in the kind of unusual position of actually throwing center guards to protect their excellent shot stones. In this case, it's well worth blocking up the center. They've got control of the 4-foot. And they've got 3 on the rings. 3's enough. Wide. Jeremy Zhang, chance for him to get a guard. He's struggled with throwing guards earlier in this game. This was coming over nicely. I think they could come up on this. Gonna get good line out of that. Again, just the guards just a little bit heavy, and this gives a chance now for Harvard to run some doubles. They can get rid of 2 rocks here. Again, SUNY Poly just not able to capitalize. They're throwing a heavier light guards. And SUNY Poly sits 4, but I think 2 rocks are going to disappear here. SUNY Poly puts that stone outside the rings. They're in commanding position. Still have a good chance for a multiple here, but good shot by Julia Ebert here. Should be able to remove a couple stones. And 2 go away. SUNY Poly now continues to sit 2, but that stone in the top 12 is a threat. And we've seen this movie before. I think we saw this about 3 ends ago. SUNY Poly tried to throw the guard and wound up jamming in the blue rock for shot stone instead with a heavy guard. I like running that guard off. That's a dangerous stone. I wouldn't draw around it. A, it's a tough draw around. B, it's a very short run back for Harvard. I think it's got to go away, or you got to put a guard on it. I know Blake's worried about running that into a shot stone if they throw the hit, but I think you really do need to make it go away. Or you need to cover it up. Trying to draw around, and once again, a little error. This one won't be as costly because it's not going to raise from the shot stone. And actually, corner freeze is not a bad result. Does leave a sliver of the 4-foot open for Bill Liu. He's had excellent draw weight. Again, a missed guard by Suni Pauly. Throws away a tremendous advantage in this end. They're still looking decent to score 2 here, but Bill Liu could upset the apple cart here with a nice draw to the 4-foot. There's plenty of curl, so it should be possible to get full 4 here. This in-turn draw. Sweepers are not touching it. They think it's heavy. Now it's starting to cut. And it's going to wreck. Going to spill off the red stone first. Pushes the blue stone in a little, but I think Suni Pauly's still lying 2. And I think they've got to cover this draw path. Put a stone here, it wouldn't be bad. That could be tapped up later. That would leave Blake with 2 ways in. With his last stone, he could either tap this one up or he could play this out-turn draw. Which him would be an in-turn draw since he's a lefty. I think this is the dangerous path. If Harvard gets a shot at this, they're going to freeze one on this back stone and take Suni Pauly right out of the end. I would put it right up here, no deeper. If you put it too deep, could be a run double. You want to be very careful with your stone placement here. This is really a setup shot.
It's good.
You want to take away Harvard's draw path while leaving yourself a tap up, but not giving Harvard a slash double. And then you want to leave yourself 2 options, either to play that in-turn tap up or to come around the right side, get your 3. Blake Hagberg with his first in the 7th end. Just looking to go top 12, top 8 here. Want to cover the draw path. And it's going to over curl. Needs to stop. And they're going to leave the draw path open. Just over curled. Didn't take enough ice on that shot. Or didn't get out to the broom, one or the other. So Bill Liu with a second chance here. If he can nail this, he'll take the end away completely. Good looking line. And how far can they move it back? And that's far enough that Blake will have a draw for 3. Suni Pauly's got 2 in the bag if they don't wreck on the blue stone in the top 8. Just need to be full 8 here to nab a score of 3. SUNY Poly's down 1 here in the 7th end. Scoring 3 here would be huge. Blake Hagberg, last stone, 7th end. SUNY Poly drawing for 3. Sweepers haven't touched it. Looks really heavy. Needs to curl a ton to have any chance at backing. And that's going to sail right through the house. Missed opportunity for SUNY Poly. They grabbed their deuce, first deuce of the game. Missed an opportunity to make it better. After 7 ends, they lead 4-3. They'll come home without the hammer in the 8th end. A tour around the sheets for score updates. On sheet 1 in our E semifinal, we are all knotted up 6-6 after 7. RIT 2 and RPI 2. RPI 2 will have the hammer coming home in a tie game. It's a final on sheet 2 in our A semifinal. RPI 1 has avenged their loss in pool play against Penn. They have won their semifinal and have earned their ticket to the A championship final with a 10-7 victory. MIT in a C semifinal over Colgate, 13-0. Bowdoin 2 over Bowdoin 1, 7-5 in an E semifinal game. And Yale is a winner, 10-0 over RIT 1 in our other C semifinal game. The remaining games on the ice, sheet 1 all tied up at 6. And on sheet 5, our feature match, SUNY Poly 1 leads Harvard 4-3, scoring the only deuce in the game so far in the 7th end. Harvard with the Blue Rocks will have the hammer coming home. Up 1 without is a pretty good position, but you kind of have to half try to steal the end. So-called soft steal. Usually get up 1 center guard and try to get around. So SUNY Poly's got a guard a little off center. They try to get around. They got maybe edge on edge. The goal here is to force Harvard to 1 and get to an extra end. If you get an opportunity to steal, then you'll take it, but you don't want to try so hard you wind up giving up a deuce. So SUNY Poly will play this very close to the vest. They'll hit any rocks they can see. And this might be a free guard violation if Blake can sweep this out. Looks like he'll be successful. And so that guard will go back. Can't remove your opposition guards in front of the tee line in the house before the seconds are up. And it looks like they did a good job of replacing that guard. That's not where we had it, edge on edge. Yep, so another guard coming up for SUNY Poly. They don't have a great steel rock yet, but they'll need some more guards in play. Another option here would be to tap up your rock on the top 12, sit 1 and 2.
Yeah.
This guard was way out there. Bringing it back. Going to get it all the way back to center line almost. That's a pretty good result. Shot rock's wide open though. And if Harvard can hit and roll under one of the guards here, they might get the jump on SUNY Poly this end. Rocky Lee. Got this one a little wide. This one's going to crash the guard. He's going to jammed it a bit and rolled it behind the corner. Interesting spot for SUNY Poly. They can throw another guard or go around, either one. Pro side's a little short here to get the guard. If the line looks really great, you can come around that high center corner. Sit 1 and 2.
Guard or draw? I'll give you one more right now. Guard. Guard. Very close. Yeah.
Line's really nice here. You're going to get a nice center guard out of this, and that's a really excellent spot. Now Harvard's got some choices to make. They can either come around or they can clear the middle out. They don't have anything on the rings yet, so they're opting to play the in-turn come around draw. Try to beat SUNY Poly to the punch here. First hog to the trough, as they say. This one just looks really light. Not going anywhere. Now SUNY Poly now with a chance to get into the rings first. The only question is which way. Do you want to play the in-turn draw? You want to play the out-turn draw? I got your choice. Either one's fine. Plenty of room either way. Sometimes your players throw one turn better than the other. Give them their favorite turn. Jeremy Zhang here with a chance to really put some pressure on Harvard with a good come around. Didn't get out to the broom on that one. Yeah, a little light. And Jeremy struggled with draw weight all day. Now all those stones up front. Harvard's definitely coming around now. Too late to peel. Only 4 rocks to go. Skip Julia Ebert throwing 3rd rocks. Going to play the in-turn come around. And that one's just a little tight as well. That one wrecks on the guard. Now it's SUNY Poly's turn to play that in-turn come around. Jeremy Zhang with another chance now. Need to make this good. The pro shot is short. Pro miss is short. Don't want to throw this to the back 8, back 4. That We'll give the advantage right back to Harvard. You got to leave this above tee line if it's not buried. Jeremy Chang with his second. Sweepers don't like it. And this one's through the ring's weight. Again, Jeremy Chang not able to adjust. And every shot there's a tolerance for which way is the best miss. This one, the tolerance was a bit shorter. Now advantage back to Harvard. They have another chance to stuff this draw. This one doesn't look wide. Calling for sweep right out of hand. And this one's going to wreck on the center guards. Both teams now struggling with draw weight. Some teams have come off the ice as games have finished, so the ice might be tightening up just a little bit here in the last end. Only 2 games still in play. Now Blake Hagberg's got to show his team how to do it here. Like to go top 4 buried, no deeper. If it doesn't bury, leave it up high. Blake Hagberg with his first. He liked the line. Looks really heavy. And both teams just not adjusting. The line was pretty good, but this one's going to go right through the house. Going to hang on in the back, but it's not really going to be a player. Now Bill Lou's turn. Win the game. Bill Lou's draw attempt. This one's sailing as well. Certainly not curling up. And they're going to get this far back enough. And it looks like Harvard may be shot in the back. Yep, definitely. So Blake with his last rock, and the 8th end needs to stick a good one here. Harvard lying shot in the back of the house. Now for this shot, the pro miss would be heavy. You can come to the back stone and be shot rock and get your extra end. Can't leave this one short of the rings. Perfect shot is top 4 buried. Again, this one also looks really heavy. This looks almost like hack weight. They need to get to the back one if they can. Going to move the blue one back enough, and that's going to force Harvard to 1. It looks like we'll probably play an extra end. Blake did make the pro miss there, but left an easy one for Bill Lou. He's just got to come to the backing. He's got to be a little careful. If it comes to his own stone, he may not be shot. If he comes to the shot that Blake just threw, he'll be just fine. Last stone, 8th end. Bill Liu for Harvard needs to draw for 1 here to get to an extra end. And that's far enough to score, and we'll play an extra end in our other A semifinal game. SUNY Poly will have the hammer coming home in the extra end, all tied up at 4. And our other E semifinal game finished up. RPI 2 victorious over RIT 2 in the last end. So we have only 1 game in play, and it's been a taut one. 4-4 SUNY Poly versus Harvard. And we're going to play an extra end to decide this one. And SUNY Poly playing the Red Rocks will have the hammer coming home. Harvard's initial guard slipped in the rings. That gave SUNY Poly a chance to hit. A little bit of a surprising call here that they would try to hit this stone in the top 12. Harvard, without hammer this last end, needs to steal. Probably not going to get there by hitting. You need to throw a couple of guards regardless of what goes on. Now a chance for SUNY Poly to keep the house wide open. They don't need to score 2. They just need to score this end. Put the game away. Dan Coletta turned this one in a little bit. Going to catch enough of the stone to remove it from play, and that's all that counts. They'll hit and roll for another counter, but the main goal here for SUNY Poly is just to keep the house open. Harvard's continuing to chase rocks. And SUNY Poly, this only helps them. Blake will remove that from play, get it out of the way. Just need to hit rocks and keep the house wide open. Harvard's going to need some guards to steal this end unless they're counting on SUNY Poly missing all their shots. Luke Sanders coming inside out at this stone. Not real heavy here. Probably didn't give enough ice. That's certainly not enough weight. That's maybe hack weight. Gonna move the stone to the back of the rings. Don't think those stones are a big concern. Blake knows he's going to have to draw the 8-foot or make an open hit and stick to win the game. No guards in play. Not too many worries for SUNY Poly at this stage. Rocky Lee with his first, second I should say. It's actually going to curl for a guard, and that's something that Harvard actually needs. Guard's got to go. Guard is public enemy number 1 here. Harvard won't be able to steal without that. Coming this way is a bonus. If you're a little bit wide here, you can pick off the back stone. Don't want to nose this. And he did nose it, and that was not what you wanted to do. Now a chance for Harvard to get around this guard. Put their rock in a better steal position. One on the back 8's really not much of a player. Seek one top 4 here, though. You could give SUNY Poly some indigestion. Skip Julie Ebert throwing third rocks now with her first. I like the weight's pretty good. They're going to get that fully buried on the top 4. Got to peel that top stone. Jeremy Shang. That's a little better. That opens things up. Rolled for a center, which was unfortunate, but at least open up shot stone. Now Jolie Ebert will have to put the guard back on. Right now Blake's hoping to hit that shot stone later in the end and stick around. To score is 1. Otherwise forced to drawing the 4-foot around the intern side. Sweeping this right away. They don't like the line. This is going to over curl. Hoping to get it over, but it's definitely going to over curl. And it's not over. Well, they think it's over. Blake's going to go on and check it. It's got to be completely over the red line. Appears to be, so it's just enough. It does cover shot stone. This might be the best look Blake will have at it. Play the ice tight. You want to chip out shot stone here. Chip out shot stone. And if you hit this one, you hit this one. That's okay too. Want to make sure you hit something here. Don't want to flash one wide. You got to hit the blue guard, double these out, or you need to remove shot stone, one or the other. And got to the nose, and that's a big nothing. A little narrow on that peel. Your pro miss was a shade wide. You pick off the back stone if you miss the top one. Now not much to look at for Blake. He's going to be looking at playing the in-turn draw. Looks like Bill Lou's going to take that away first, so you'll then have to navigate the port. If Bill Lou puts this on the button, he won't be able to hit that stone in the top 4 for shot, or top 8. Bill Lou for Harvard. Throwing fourth rocks, looking to draw. And this one's going to come up a little short. It's going to cover though. And Blake's going to have to play the in-turn draw. He's got 2 chances here to sink one on the 4. He can play the out-turn draw as well. Got 1 chance here, and he's got 1 chance on the other side. Four game down to Skip Rocks. Blake Hagberg's first for SUNY Poly. Needs to draw the 4-foot here buried. This is the lefty out turn. This won't curl as much as the righty in turn on this side. Line's really good if they've got the weight. Sweepers are pounding. They got by everything. And it shot stone. And it's behind staggered guards. Great draw by Blake Hagberg. Pulled his team out of the fire on that one. They were in huge trouble. If you could only see this stone, there would be a run-in, but this red guard's in the way. Probably your best shot is to see if you can sneak this by and chip that out. I don't know if it's there. Take a look at our Near house view. I think it might just be there. If you could come down and catch this about 3/4, you might be able to run that onto shot stone. What I don't know is if it jams on the back. That's a good question. Shooter would go away. Doesn't look like too many good options. Might try to get a piece of the button over here. Blake Hagberg with an excellent draw with his first. Bill Liu will have to come up with a better one here. There is a little piece of the button we can see from our long view camera. It is possible to sneak one just in there. Last rock for Bill Liu in this extra end. Looking to grab a piece of the button here. And this is going to hang out wide, and he's a little bit heavy. That's all she wrote. Suni Pauly's going to win the game 5-4. And what a game it was. In an extra end, make it a final. Congratulations to Suni Pauly. They move on to the championship game where they will face RPI 1 and Evan Mullaney. Hope you enjoyed the webcast this morning. Had ourselves a whale of a game. We're expecting something very similar in the finals at 11:30. We'll see you in a few minutes. I'm Roger Aulette for the Utica Curling Club channel. Have a good morning. See you shortly.